Hi, everybody. Going to give it a couple minutes here to let the audience build. I'm going to open up the show with some music from the Scheming No Goods. It's called Punch the Clock. Give me a second to get it up here. You should enjoy this. Please share this, guys. Please share this, guys. As Big Jim says, sharing is caring. Hi, Jade. Hi, Neely. I see you. Happy birthday, my friend. Hi, Heather. Hi, Lance. Good to see you, bro. Hi, Pam. Angela, how are you? Please share this, guys. Thank you guys for sharing. Hi, Nikki. I love you. Hi, Leticia. How are you? Hi, Amy. Hi, Lee.
Punch the clock.
Is this you on this track playing the drums?
This isn't me playing.
Hi, Bradley. Your buddy Kevin's in the comments. How you doing, Kevin? Nice to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Survivor Series. The Survivor Series is an original product of No More Heroin, and we showcase inspirational stories, testimonies that are meant to empower other people. I'm coming to you live. I'm your host, Higgy. I'm coming to you live from West Palm Beach, Florida, at the No More Heroin Survivor Series live studio, which in fact is my bedroom / office studio. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for sharing this. We have an amazing guest tonight. Garold Vallie is a professional skateboarder, motivational speaker, X-game competitor, musician, athlete, writer, artist, and the list goes on and on. Many people have deemed this man a Renaissance man, which is someone that has a multitude of skills and abilities and a wealth of knowledge about a vast array of things. And when I was telling Garold beforehand, when I think of a Renaissance man, I think of the Dos Equis guy, the guy with the beard, the most interesting man in the world. We've had some really good conversations leading up to tonight. You shared some insight into your life, your spirituality, your recovery, and we met on Instagram. I saw your posts, and I started following you. You were nursing an injury from skateboarding, and you were talking about your alcoholism. You were being public about your struggles and how you were convalescing through your injuries, which is not a standard by which most people choose to recover today. So, with that, I'm going to give the floor to you, Garold. Thank you for being here. You once again, having you here as my guest gives credibility and credence to what I'm trying to do with my platform, and giving people hope and inspiration through personal testimonies and proof that we do recover. The lie is dead. We do recover, and we can have an amazing life in doing so. Is that right?
That is exactly right. Thank you very much, Higgy, for having me on tonight. And thank you for all the listeners, all the people viewing this right now, the people viewing it in the future. Just thanks for tuning in and checking this out. The introduction is too much, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we did meet through Instagram, and I broke my leg June 20th. And the irony of all that is that's the first cast I've ever had in my life. 35 years of skateboarding, 20 years as a goaltender. It was all new territory for me. And, a great reason to come on this show is for that 2 months when I'm sitting around doing nothing. That's prime time for me to start thinking not the best thoughts in the world. And a lot of alone time, And so I chose to get mentally busy. Yeah. And start getting mentally busy, man. And just, and some great things have come out of it over the summer. Amazing things. And I could have been deep in a bottle of vodka very easily. And I chose
to tell you, congratulations on 2 years in recovery, bro. 2 years consecutive.
Yeah. February 2nd was 2 years, and we're giant magnets, and we definitely attract exactly what we put out there. And these last 2 years, things have just have really been gangbusters in my life. And if I was drinking, I can definitely put it in the toilet as quick as it came to me.
Absolutely. Would you say that you're an adrenaline junkie of sorts?
Yeah, I could be categorized as that, and again, I started playing hockey at 4 years old, and I immediately was a goalie. So I jumped into the net, and so people shot pucks at my head for fun. And then the skateboarding, from the first time I picked up a skateboard, I knew I'd never put it back down. And I took hockey to a very high level, got to play all over the world, and skateboarding was always there the whole time. We'd be traveling to play hockey in St. Louis, and at night I'd be skateboarding in the parking lots. Or in Sweden, we were playing in Sweden, and I was skateboarding in the subway stations, and just it was always there. And something I was very passionate about. And it ended up, just having fun, having a lot of fun. Other people saw that and decided that, they could put my name on a skateboard or whatever. And now we're 20 years in, and people are still putting my names on skateboards, and it's crazy to me. But thank you very, very much, Angela. 2 years. Thank you.
What was it like being on a professional skateboarding circuit? What was the environment like? What were the personalities that you were dealing with? Did it lead you down the path to more alcoholism, or what was that like? What did that look like?
That's a great question, because I was actually straight edge. I didn't drink a beer till I was about 25 years old. And I went on tour the first time I was 26, 27, and that's just what happened. You did a skateboard demo, you went and partied at the hotel, you woke up the next morning, you got a ride to the next city, you did a skateboard demo, you partied at the hotel, you got a ride.
Uh-oh. I think we froze. Did we freeze, folks? Oh, we'll wait for Garold to come back. He should be able to jump back into the broadcast. These things happen. I'll text him real quick. Can you guys hear me okay? I just texted Garold to jump back on the video with us. Just bear with us. I don't know what's going on with this broadcasting platform. But hi, everybody. We're dealing with these technical difficulties as they come. I promise I'm not going to melt down on video with you guys. It's happened so much. It's just seems to be a regular occurrence these days. The devil's trying to get after me, trying to take away my joy and everything. So I'm gonna fight back and keep doing what I do. So how is everybody? Hey, where are you guys watching from? Can you guys post in the comments where you guys are watching from? Have you guys seen Bobby Stacks and Bobby Notso's new music video? Firefight? Fire, straight fire. Young Verse shared it today. We got almost 30,000 views today alone. Amazing video. Also, I'm wearing the shirt from Rising Above Addiction from Maryland. Tammy Lofink, she put up a PSA as well. There we go. There's Garold again.
All right, sorry about that.
That's okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, when I go to put this on YouTube, I'll edit this part out.
Oh, right on.
But yeah, we still have an audience. Just
yeah, I was just
go ahead.
You know, I was just saying, you know, I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. And so if it was skateboarding, hockey, artwork, you know, I was fortunate enough to play drums on a couple punk rock records for a band called Stalefish. I just take everything to as far as I can take it. And this last time I just got in a point in my life, I didn't know what to do. And I picked up a vodka bottle and couldn't put it back down. And it got bad. Yeah.
Well, we don't do anything halfway, half measured, half-assed, nothing. We're all in or nothing, right?
Yeah, completely. And you know, it lasted quite a few years. And finally 2 years ago, I just said, you know, I'm done feeling like this. This isn't who I am. And this isn't what I do, and this isn't how I operate. And yeah, I mean, it even took you know, the 0.40 alcohol in my blood that wasn't even enough at one point, you know, for them to say you should be dead right now, but you're in good shape, so you get to live some more. And even that, you know, and it was just finally I couldn't even function. I wouldn't leave the house. I wouldn't do anything. And it took me to look at myself and say, you're a skeleton. You're a shell of who you really are. And let's get back to that. And from that day forward, it's just been incredible.
Did you? I shared your video that you did for America's Got Talent. That was such a powerful piece that you put together. Can you walk through what that experience was like?
It was just wacky, you know. Like I still see myself as a little kid, you know. Like I really do, and
I can relate.
my wife and I were sitting on the couch, and a phone call came in on a Friday night, and I just disregarded it. It looked like a telemarketer, and I looked at the message, and it was from America's Got Talent, and they asked me if I'd come down and they could shoot some video footage in Detroit, skateboarding, whatnot. And I'm like, I don't fit into their show. I don't do just one thing. I don't just sing, or I don't just do this or that or the other thing. So I said, hey, can I put a video together too? And they said, yeah. So we put that together. A guy named Kyle Oren came through like the man and threw that together in one night. And it really said what I wanted it to say. You know, it got the message across that you can overcome anything in your life. It doesn't matter what it is, you know, and that video talks about that a little bit. You know, I did it because nobody ever told me I couldn't. You know, I had a very supportive mom, very supportive dad, and nobody ever told me I couldn't do these things. So, you know, if it's basket weaving or whatever, you know, I mean, it doesn't effing matter. Whatever you love to do. I tell kids, I say, man, if you love shoelaces, be a freaking shoelace maker, man. You'll be stoked on it. You'll be fired up on it. And that's sort of the way I've lived my life. You know, I still skate a couple days a week, and I still draw pictures, and I do everything I did when I was 12. I just got a few tattoos and a few different things and a few more scars and some fake teeth and whatnot. But I'm still 14. I grew up 2 years. I'm 14 now. So
right. So chronicle some of the injuries that you've been through in skateboarding history.
Yeah, it's been, you know, obviously the goaltending thing, slap shots at 100 miles an hour. You know, there's a few concussions from that. And then skateboarding, I mean, I've super glued my teeth in. I've stitched myself up. I had a fractured skull in 2001 with blood in the brain cavity. You know, it just different things. And that's why, you know, almost any board with my name on it has a Frankenstein head somewhere on it, because that's the way I feel. I feel like I am like a hybrid, you know. I've been stitched together and sewn up, and now we got some metal in the ankle, sort of like a cyborg a little bit. But you know, it's you know, skateboarding is a contact sport, and it's gonna happen. And you know, it's just, that's how much fun it is, and how exciting it really is that I keep doing it, you know.
So what happened June 20th? What was the incident that led to your injury?
Oh my word, it's a hilarious story. It's hilarious. There's a company here in the southeastern Michigan area. I can't say company, it's a school, and it's Midwest Photography Workshop. And when these people are learning how to shoot action, they call me and they ask me if I'd come out and do some skateboard tricks. These people learn how to use their camera and do their thing. And so we were in an empty, big, giant pool. And then thank you, Heath, by the way. We're all sort of animals, actually, but thank you very much. But we were skating a pool. I was skating this pool. They wanted to shoot some hand plants. I did about 5, 6 of them. And I kept looking at the camera and going, I can do it better. I'll do one better. That isn't cool enough. I'll do it better. And I did a hand plant. All I did was knee slide out, which if you watch the X Games or any of that, you've seen, you know, anybody who falls on a half pipe, they slide down on their knees. It's like a party. We get back up, do it again. Mm-hmm. And I slid down on my knees and my foot got underneath me a little weird. So I got up and I'm like, whoa, my foot's a little tender. And I got out of the bowl, took off my equipment. I even went and skated some more to see if I felt bad because these people were all here geared up to shoot photos and I got hurt. So I skated some more and I'm like, you know what? I'll go home, put my foot in a bucket of ice. Give me 2 weeks. I'll be better. We'll shoot photos. We'll get it done. And I even hung out and helped them pack up their cameras and whatnot. And the next morning I woke up and my leg looked a little funny. So I went to the urgent care and they said, I think your fibula is cracked in half. And I was like, no way. I walked in here. There's no way my fibula is cracked in half. So they sent me to a specialist. I walk in. He's like, yeah, your fibula is broken right in half. And they did surgery the next day, put a plate and 7 screws in there. And about 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, something like that, he went in. He's like, oh, there's something else floating around. We got to go back in. And so they put two more screws in my tibia. And that was the beginning of July. He told me I wouldn't be walking until mid-October. And I meditate 2-3 times a day. I talk to my body. I really believe that as you think, so shall you be. And that goes for everything. And so through the summer, I listened to what the doctor told me. I did my meditation. I'd even do mental workouts, like picture myself in the gym. And I kid you not, Higgy, I could feel my leg the cast get tighter after I would do a mental workout in the gym. Like my muscles were reacting to the workout I was doing. And August 27th, I went in there. So June 20th, I broke it. He told me mid-October I'd be walking. August 27th, I walked into the doctor and he said he's going to cut the cast off. And I didn't know if I was getting another cast, what was going on. He cut my cast off and he said, you can walk right now, ma'am. And I'm like, what?
What? How does that even happen? How does that happen?
Yeah, he just said, he's like, I don't know what you're doing, but it works. You can walk right now. And I said, what about physical therapy? You know, what do I got to do for my ligaments? And he wiggled my foot around. He goes, you're good. He's like, I don't want you jumping on your skateboard right now, but if you want to go to physical therapy, go to physical therapy. If you don't want to, don't. And it really was amazing, but at the same time, because I understand that. I understand that we are as far as we think we are. And our inner monologue is so huge. A lot of my life, and you talked about many of the things that I've done to overachieve. A lot of it had to do with me, like really not thinking too highly of myself. And so I had to go out and be the best goalie or be the best skateboarder or be the best artist. So everybody else could tell me how cool I was because I couldn't do that. And that was a lot.
You can
relate. Lot of my life.
Relate. You know, I've been a clown my whole life, you know, and it's been an act because I wanted people to like me because I didn't like myself, you know, and I've worn many masks for different reasons for many different people. And that goes along with what you're saying. It's our addictive and alcoholic thinking and our self-esteem issues. Totally.
And even like, I mean, prior to 2 years ago, you know, I'd stay sober for a month or two and I'd go do some crazy stuff. You know, I'd run a triathlon or do this or do that or inspire a bunch of people and feel the need to shut down. My biggest thing was I would take this time to shut down. I'd go do a bunch of stuff, get overwhelmed and be like, I just need to shut down. And I'd grab a half pint. Well, that half pint turned into 4 days later and I can't keep water down and I need to go to the hospital, you know? And so I guess after February 2nd, a couple of years ago, I understand I can get overwhelmed. I understand the warning signs for me. And I try to not get to that place. And if I do, I recognize it. And I can reach out to friends who understand and talk about it. And for me, it's staying tight with my meditation schedule and the respect I have for my body today, and that helps keep me sober a lot.
So, G, let me ask you: if someone's watching the show right now and is interested in, beginning the process and learning meditation, what pointers could you give them that helped you along your journey to get started? Because for me, meditation is difficult in the beginning because I always thought I was supposed to clear my mind of everything and not think about anything. And then I would get frustrated because I was thinking about everything, it took away from what I was trying to accomplish. So what insight could you give someone that wants to start the meditation path?
Well, that's a great question, Higgy. And I'll tell you, I used to carry a freaking notebook in my back pocket. And I would have 10,000 thoughts a day, and I'd be writing them down. The business I want to start, the name of this, that, the other thing. My brain is always going.
I can relate.
Yeah, and there was a gentleman named Jose Silva in the '60s. He was just a blue collar dude, and he started studying the mind. And the Silva method is what got me started for at least the whole first year. You can find the half hour, I think they call it like the centering exercise. And it's a guided meditation because I couldn't shut it off. And so I found focusing on somebody else telling me what to do, it worked. And the Silva method, like I said, you can find it on YouTube or anything like that. And now his daughter runs it because Jose Silva is no longer with us. But the Silva method, any guided meditation would help give me something to focus on. And so for about the first year, I'd put that on my iPod, do the half hour. And now I'm to a point, that was probably 10 years ago. And now I can sit down anywhere and just really focus on my breathing or focus on the water or just sit. And really mostly now I focus on my breathing. I do very mindful breathing exercises even when I'm driving. And so it took me a while though, but the guided meditation helped quiet my chatter and get me to focus on one thing. And it was this person's voice saying, okay, now relax your head. Now relax your eyes. Now relax your, and it go all the way down your body. And you're like, whoa, I'm floating. That voice just made me relax, and it worked. So
that's amazing because a lot of us have those racing thoughts. A lot of us have the ambition to do great things, but we don't have the ability to calm ourselves and center ourselves to accomplish any one thing on a great level. And I found that, to be my situation. I believe that I'm intelligent. I believe that I have the potential to do and be anything I want. But how do I focus on one thing when I want to do everything? So yeah. I'm beginning this journey as well. I have some great mentors that are helping me with the meditation and stuff, and helping me with goal setting and priorities. And it's really important to have that positive support network. Can you tell us about what your support network looks like?
For me, it's as I think in life, when you're helping other people, you help yourself. And my support network is rad. My family, my wife, and there's a couple of guys I work with on a regular basis, and we talk about life, we talk about everything, and then just being able to inspire people through the morning quotes I put on Facebook or the live videos or going out and helping a kid skateboarding or talking to anybody. They're like, man, you've accomplished so much. And I'm like, I'm just like everybody else, man. Like anybody can do what I do. Like, let's talk about it. And then helping people realize, especially with the information age, the way it is now, you can accomplish freaking anything. Anything is at the click of a mouse, man.
That's right.
It really is. And You brought up the great word, which is prioritize. I actually recently, I was jamming with a guy. I've been a drummer 20 years, and I was jamming with a guy. I am so focused on what I'm doing right now, and I knew if we jammed any further, I'd want to freaking make a record, tour, do graphics, do this, do that. So I shut it down now. I'm like, I love with you, Rob, but I need really to what I want to do, because I always would say yes and overextend myself. And I'll give you the number one best tip. If you don't take anything away from this show, here is the best answer to people who make requests of you. You ready? Here it is. I'll give it some thought. Anybody who asks anything of you, because I can draw. People be like, will you draw my tattoo? I can skateboard. Will you teach my kid to skateboard? I can play the drum. And now I say I'll give it some thought. And 80% of them don't ever come back and ask again. The 20% that do, they're serious about it. We can talk about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people are wanting that instant gratification of that instant yes. So they don't never revisit that question again because they didn't get that instant yes, right?
Or they get inspired, they're like, oh, he can draw, I need this, or whatever the case is. But I'll give it some thought. I learned it from this lady, Holly, and answer, because I'm a yes man. I say yes to a lot of stuff, and learning to say no is a big step. Was a big step for me to be able to tell somebody I can't do it. But I'll give it some thought is a good one, because you don't just shoot them down. You don't poop. you don't mess with their dreams. You just say, let me give it some thought. And so it works, and it doesn't hurt anybody's feelings.
Absolutely. So tell us about the book that you wrote. You're an author as well.
Oh, yeah. I wrote a book called Voluntary Self-Achievement. And again, I'm a little punk rocker. I'm a little DIY punk rock, do it yourself, and it doesn't matter what it is. And so I came up with this idea for a book called Voluntary Self-Achievement. And because I think accountability is at an all-time low. And it's everybody else's fault for whatever you do, whatever problem you have, it's somebody else's fault. It's this, that. So I wrote a book called Voluntary Self-Achievement. I worked with some great people, a third grade teacher, and it's just stories from my life and helping youngsters 11 to 16 years old create goals in their lives. And there's worksheets at the end of each chapter, and they could start, if it's homework, cleaning your bedroom, whatever the case is, just start realizing that, those little accomplishments add up to big accomplishments. And one of the bigger things, 24 hours before making a major choice. I completely agree with that one.
That's Travis Gilbert from Portland, Maine. He's up there. He has a group called Climb for Recovery. If you ever want to do some mountain climbing, some hiking,
I do.
We would love to have you.
Yes, I do. I want in on that. I've hiked Chimney Rock, Klingman's Dome, couple other places.
Crab, he's speaking your language, bro. We're gonna do Knife's Edge in the spring.
Yeah, I'm all about it. All about it, man.
Washington, do some whitewater rafting while we're up there. We're gonna make a very nice, sober outdoors event for people to buy into and have fun. They took me up on Old Spec at the end of September, and right as we were getting ready, a nor'easter came through. It was like 10 miles up this mountain. I wasn't prepared for this, but I had the time of. I was with I bonded with some amazing men in recovery. We all flew in from different parts of the country. And we went out and we did this, and it snowed, and it was cold, and it was miserable. We were tired, we were crying, we were bitching, but we had so much fun doing it, and we bonded, and the camaraderie, and the things we talked about. It was such a healing, and it gave me motivation to get in better physical shape, because they Near had to carry me off the mountain because my legs were all seized up and I was tired and I was grumping. I was like, this fucking sucks. This is not fun at all. But once it was over, I could look back on it and say, I did that. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for helping me.
Yeah, I can relate to that, man. When I decided to do a triathlon, the minute I got in the water, I'm like, I want this over now. I want to be done. I don't want to swim. And, but then when you finish it, you know, like what you're talking about, when you get through any kind of challenge, if it's, you know, in recovery, or if it's a physical challenge or whatever, when you get to the end and go, you know what, I did that. Old Thrasher stuff. What? I'm reading the comments now.
Heath Titcomb was trying to post some old Thrasher stuff. Break your neck or break your deck.
That's old.
That's skater music, right?
Yeah, that's old. Very old. But no, it's been an awesome journey, and again, like last week, celebrating 2 years, I was doing hand plants on a 13-foot vert ramp, you know, and that's to me, that's just, it's huge to skate with friends and have a great time and to be here with you, you know, and talk about it. This is all bonus. Like my buddy Becker says, he's like, this is all bonus, dude. He's been sober 16 years and he's like, man, gee, this is all bonus, man. We're living the bonus life. And I'm like, you're exactly right.
This is extra innings, right?
Yeah, completely extra innings, man.
Who was the gentleman I seen you with, arm in arm? You said you had like 60 years of skating between you and so much sobriety between you or something. Was that Becker?
Yeah, it was my buddy Becker last week. Yeah, we've been skating. We've been friends about 5 years. But when I was really having a hard time, a mutual friend was like, man, you got to reach out to Becker. And I didn't. And, you know, and then it was ironic that he hit me up to come skate this big ramp. And it happened to be the day, February 2nd. And so they drove up from Cleveland, Ohio. And we just had a great day, you know. And there was like 3 other guys with them. And at the end of the day, I didn't even say anything all day long. And I said, hey, guys, thanks for celebrating with me. And they're like, we didn't even know. And I'm like, yeah, today's 2 years sober, man. And they're like, right on. They were so stoked. But I didn't say anything till they were getting ready to head back to Cleveland. And let's just enjoy this day and listen to some good punk rock. And hopefully we can all walk away. And we're going to do it again next month. So, you know, that's you know, my favorite part is those kinds of things, you know, that kind of a day and just to be able to enjoy it.
Absolutely. I can so relate to that. Let's touch on your spirituality just a little bit. What your thoughts are and what, you know, how it plays a role in how you deal with life and dealing with life on life's terms, getting through troubling times. What does your spirituality look like?
For me, I'm very, I mean, from what I've said so far, you can tell I'm very Eastern leaning. and I've studied Buddhism for some years. I actually started looking at Hinduism. I'm like, oh my word, I'm a Hindu and I didn't know it. Their philosophy is very, it's very cool. You know, people don't understand that word namaste. It actually means you do your thing. I'm going to do my thing. Let's hang out. We can be cool together. I'm not going to push my stuff on you. You know, you're going to push your stuff on me and we'll be cool. You know, that's what that word means.
I'm down.
It's pretty simple. And
stay in your own lane, do your thing. I'll do mine. And we will meet in the middle somewhere.
Right. You know, and so for me, you know, meditation, understanding there's something bigger than myself out there. I don't know what it is. You can call it Esther. You can call it Andy. You can call it God. You can call it Muhammad. I don't know. I don't know what to call it, but it's there. I get it. It's been affecting my life, my whole life, but it took me to quiet and actually pay attention to see the effects that something directs us, and we don't know what it is. But I meditate, I listen, I pay attention. Let's see what we got here.
Everyone say what's up to he called him dudes very early in his recovery, and I've known him 20 plus years, and he's a great dude. Show some love. Congratulations, man. Keep stacking them days, bro. It gets way better. Way
Right
better.
on. Yeah, right on. Thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you for tuning in, and you can message me anytime, brother. Anytime.
Thanks, Trav, for pointing that out. We're all about supporting people new in recovery and coming back. No judgment, no nothing. It's all about love here, for real.
100%. And getting back to the spirituality question, that's really what it's all about. It really is. And for me, the meditation and study, and I like learning stuff. I like researching. So I've been researching all this crazy, like the Hindus got 8 million gods, and it's crazy. Buddha was just a man. He had a good way to live, and he just said, I'm not God, but I figured out some cool stuff, and it works for me. And so yeah, it works. I realize something bigger than me is working, and as long as I stay out of my own way, I'm going to end up exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I don't believe in coincidence. I meet people all the time, and most of the time, people that that we actually have a discussion and talk and have commonalities like you and I, Higgy, I don't believe in coincidence. So we met. There's a bigger purpose for that, but even if it's to do this show and touch 5 million people, because that's why we met, to connect like this, or we
paying it forward, reaping and sowing, karma, whatever. It's about putting those positive vibes out there so people can get some hope. People that don't have any, and for people to hear your story, because you have broken yourself down mentally, physically, and spiritually multiple times, and you've been able to bounce back from it and have this amazing life today. When you could have given up at any point along this journey and said, F it, I'm gonna crawl in this 1.75 of vodka and never ever come out again. But you didn't.
I can't tell you why I didn't or why I did. All I know is I didn't want to feel like that anymore. And I didn't want to, I like being social. I like talking to people. I like inspiring people. And if I pick up a bottle, I become a completely different person. I lock the door, shut off my cell phone, and that's how it goes, and I didn't want to be that person.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
100%, and really destroy the people that love me the most, or and I just was fed up with being, and so and it doesn't happen overnight, but as like you said, as the days stack up, you see the universe, the world, God, whatever you want to call it. You see that reflecting back exactly what you're putting out there. We are giant magnets and mirrors of what we're putting out. And
you have to seek it, though, right? You have to seek it.
Yeah.
Seek knowledge and wisdom and that connection. Because when I know when I'm connected to my higher power, I'm connected to you. I'm connected to everybody else because I allow him to work through me. And it's just, life is so much better when you have a higher power in your life, because if you're able to relinquish control of your life, it just makes it a lot easier. That way you don't have to manipulate and control every little aspect, because things are meant to turn out the way they are for a reason. And we waste so much energy in trying to manipulate and play the puppet master and make people do things, and they're just not meant to work out that way.
Well, I'll tell you a great quote that I like to remind myself of is surrender to the flow of life. And that works for me. It really does. When I really, again, I say it a lot, but get out of my own way. When I surrender to the flow of life and see where the momentum is going, and I we can see it, especially once we get that clear thinking going. If you look at some science books, it says after you quit drinking, it takes about 9 months for your brain to get back to a semblance of normalcy. And when you start thinking clearly and see where the momentum is and everything, then you can really make your own decisions. You can start deciding what you want to do. And man, a lot of people chiming in. What up, Dave? How are you, sir? He's my man. Thank you again.
I want to take a moment to introduce you to a friend of mine in the comments, Big Jim Downs. He is riding a incumbent bicycle to all 48 continental state capitals currently. I believe he is in Arkansas right now. So when he I want to invite you right now, when he comes to the state capitol in Michigan, I want to invite you to stand beside him and speak as well.
Yeah.
He's a man of faith as well, and he's raising awareness for this epidemic, and he's connecting people that have no resources with treatment options, faith-based options. He's out there riding a bike, and he's our age. He's out there. He's a newlywed, and he believes this is his calling, and he's doing a really great job. So I just want to say I love you, Big Jim Downs. I will be seeing you on the road. I'm actually going to ride with him through the state of Ohio because that's my state. So that's another reason for me to be getting in shape now. But I would like for you two to know each other and be able to stand beside each other and raise your voices up and help us smash the stigma that addiction is today. Give people some hope.
Yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, when he visits Lansing, Michigan, that's only a couple hours away, Jim. So yeah, I'd love to be a part of that. Oh, one sec. Lost my earpiece here. But
also my friend Erin Quinlan is in Tennessee, and she would like to join you join Jim Downs as well. I'm sorry I cut in on the conversation there. I just saw her comment, but well, it's unifying people's voices. I'm sorry I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's good. That's good. But this epidemic, the nomoreheroin.org, it's insane to me. The kids here in where I live in Detroit, called the Downriver area. It was insane to me when I heard that kids would get on the bus, take a bus to Detroit, get what they needed in Detroit in gnarly houses, and then take a bus ride back to Blue Collarville. And I couldn't believe it. About 6 months ago, I lost my nephew at 24 years old. Amazing drummer, amazingly talented. And people asked me, they said, "What, did you talk to him?" And I said, "Of course I talked to him many times." But until you make that decision, nobody can, as we all know, nobody can tell you what to do until you decide, that you're tired and you're just
tired of being tired.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of cliches, but that one works. When you get tired of being sick and tired, when you're tired of waking up and not knowing how you got there, or you're tired of, just shutting everything off and not really understanding what just went on, and you wake up in the cardiac unit at the hospital, and go, what the is going on here? And when you get sick and tired of that, which I did, I got sick and tired of that. Yeah. And now my goal is to inspire 1 million people this year. And it doesn't matter what it is. I love seeing people succeed. I love helping people network with other people. I just love seeing people succeed. And that's my goal this year. And thanks again, Higgy, for having me on here today.
Thank you very much. So what for Garold Vallie You know, what I know you shared some things with me. I'll give you the opportunity. You know, what's in the future for you? What are your plans? What are your goals? What's your mission?
Well, let me tell you, we talked about how the universe works, and I say, we're giant magnets. Breaking my leg June 20th, I didn't look at it as a negative. I really didn't. I'm like, this happened for a reason. And it really did, because I was starting to, I would have probably gotten overwhelmed and gotten myself into trouble. And I broke my leg and it slowed me down a little bit. And I decided to stay mentally busy. What can I do now? And so over the summer, I spoke with the Tony Hawk Foundation. Over the last probably decade, I'd helped raise money for other skate parks around Michigan. So it looks like we're going to get a grant from the Tony Hawk Foundation to put a skateboard park in my city. And so I got that done over the summer. That would not have happened. And I'm working with some great people. We have a great committee. Everybody is doing great things. And so that was huge, very huge. And we're just getting ready to get going with that. But again, that wouldn't have happened had I not broke my leg. I would have been skateboarding and doing all my things and whatever. The other thing that was incredible is I volunteered to be work down at the TEDx Detroit. I volunteered to just help people find their seats, because eventually I want to speak there. I want to be a speaker at a TEDx. So I decided I'll volunteer, see what goes on. Cool. Well, I handed out one business card that day, because they have like different little sort of like trade shows kind of thing. And I handed out one business card. The first week of January, I signed a 26 episode deal with New Radio Media to do a broadcast podcast through their app of skate music and culture. And so we're working on sponsorship right now. We'll be recording April, May. Jason Navarro from the Suicide Machines is going to come on the show. Christian Hosoi already said he'll be on the show. Legendary skateboarder Bill Danforth coming on the show. And it's just, a show that I can sit down with guests and say, what makes you a badass, man? I think you're a badass. Let's talk about how cool you are and tell the world how cool you really are and how rad life is, when you choose to make it that way.
That's what's up. Also, wasn't there another sequence of events that happened from that one business card?
That one, no, we talked about a lot of stuff the other night, Higgy. And I was telling you about wrong numbers and TV shows and all sorts of. Yeah, we talked about a bunch of different things. That's why I said, the universe has been really on my side for a long time. I just didn't know it and kept, trying to do my own thing and had to get my ego out of the way, really, and just, go with the flow of where things are going.
Would you care to share the story about the wrong number that you were kind to somebody and it grew?
Yeah, that was a crazy one. I got a call from my bearing sponsor, and it was like 2006, 2007, and he said somebody in Dalton, Georgia wants to have you come down for a demo. And I'm thinking, why Dalton, Georgia? Like, what is a random call from Dalton, Georgia? And so I pick up the phone, I call the number. It was a lady named Jan in Chattanooga. And I said, hey, you talk to Mike, you want to have me down for a demo or something? And she said, I don't know who you are, but we're having a contest. We'd love to have you down. And I said, cool, I'll call you back. Let me call the right number. So I called another lady down in Dalton, Georgia. She got some advice from somebody and said they should have me down. So I flew to Dalton, Georgia, treated like I'd never been treated in my life. I mean, I had a chalet on a mountain. They were all cool. It was an amazing weekend, and I thought this will never happen again. And I really just took advantage of the situation, took it all in. It was phenomenal. And I got home, and I'm just like, wow, that was amazing. And so I got a hold of the wrong number and went to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And again, this phenomenal weekend. They treated me so well. I was just blown away. And when I was leaving, Jan was like, I feel like one of my sons is going home. And again, this was a wrong number, and I just took advantage of the opportunity and went there. And, while I'm in Chattanooga, I'm like, you can hand me a broom. I'll sweep the parking lot. I'm here for you, whatever you want me to do. And so I skated demo, announced the contest, went home. And so, it ended up spiraling. When I got home, I'm like, I need to make a TV show. And so I figured out how to make a TV show. I wanted to make a positive TV show. All the jackass stuff was running rampant. So I came up with an idea called Underground Vallie. We were going to tell positive stories of some celebrities, some everyday people, and do that kind of thing. Well, the wrong number ended up being part sponsor of that TV show. I ended up featuring them on the TV show and ended up becoming basically one of their employees for 6 months to help with marketing of their skateboard shop in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And this was the wrong number.
That's so good. So good. That's good.
And it's just taking advantage of every opportunity. It doesn't matter what it is, I mean, it really is just being polite to people, and really just realizing we're all in this together. We really are all in this together. I just happened to see Ron St. Louis post up, Drop In Downriver is our Facebook that we're working with the Hawk Foundation to put a skate park here down in the we're about 20 minutes south of Detroit right now. And Ron has been amazing. He's been handling all the Facebook and the communications, doing great things, and just the people that came together. And again, as you're doing the right thing, the universe aligns and puts those right situations right in your face. And you sometimes, well, I'll tell you about this podcast thing. The lady from NRM, New Radio Media, was calling me, and I kept ignoring it. I'm like, whatever. Finally, I answered it. And she said, this business card just keeps showing up on my desk. I don't mean to be bothering you, but I looked at your website and you look very interesting. And now you fast forward 2 months and we're, 26 show deal and doing it. And so sometimes the universe won't take no for an answer either.
That's right. Well, that's a good thing. So do you have a product line out? Can we get some shirts, stickers? What you got going on?
Yes. Purple Heart, it's PRPLHRT, no vowels. PRPLHRT.com is a little clothing company I run. And I started it.
Share the link in the video after we're done.
Okay. And I started it in 2008. And the reason I started it was I believe we all deserve Purple Heart medals for living life. The Purple Heart medal is for an injury in battle. And I think that just living life is tough enough. So I got the tattoo. This logo on my hat here is our logo. And I got the tattoo on my wrist before it was even a company. And I was like, this is my Purple Heart medal. And my grandfather, who is a huge inspiration to me, he drove a tank for General Patton. He's bowled a 300 game. He has a hole-in-one. He's just amazing. And so he has a Purple Heart medal from World War II. Yes, purpleheart.com. And Heath.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you, Heath. There it is.
Thank you very much.
I'll be ordering some swag.
My grandfather was a huge influence on me, and he has a Purple Heart medal driving a tank in World War II. So it's dedicated to him, but also to each one of us. I mean, we all have to battle and have done things that we had to make it through. And this is your own personal for living life. And that's where the name comes from. Purpleheart.com. I relaunched about a year ago, and it's pretty cool. I just do it myself. Every package I send out usually has like a custom Garold drawing with a thank you letter and some stickers, and just I personalize them. And it's just a little something I do, and it's fun. It's fun.
That's awesome, Is there anything we haven't touched on that you would like to talk about?
I don't think so. I think, again, thank you very much for having me on tonight, Higgy. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in, chiming in. Stoked on that. I try to answer any of my private messages. So if anybody has any kind of questions, you can always chime in there. You can check out lifemaverick.com to see more about what I do. But, really, I love how I love the recovery community and being able to be on here tonight and talk about it a little bit is a blessing for me, because this is all bonus. This really is all bonus, and I don't want to get all emotional because I do, but it's like, really, I have been given another life, and I've been given a chance, and I don't take it for granted, man. I don't take any of it for granted.
So you're available for speaking engagements as well, right?
Yep. You can either message me straight through Facebook, through lifemaverick.com. You can book through there as well. And I speak on a variety of topics. I've spoken to executives about connecting to consciousness and having mastermind groups. I've spoke to middle schools and high schools all across this country. Just about creating goals in your lives and following your dreams and never letting anybody tell you you can't. And really, I can tailor any to whatever group I'm speaking to. It's a blessing for me to be able to talk about the things that I've been through and inspire others. I'll give you another story. I was down in actually just south of Chattanooga, and I spoke to Red Bank Middle School, and it was a skateboard kind of base thing. And again, I'll get emotional because I spoke to the whole group in the auditorium, and I was at home for about 3 weeks, and the principal sent me a letter and said there was a young kid there who both parents were in prison. His grandma was raising him. He wasn't showing up to school. And I had donated an autograph board, and I said, don't give it to like the straight A student or something. Just give it. Let everybody have a chance who shows up for school for a month. You don't have to get A's. You don't have to get B's. You don't have to get C's. Just you have to show up. And so whoever showed up for a month, they got their name in a hat. They drew the name. They got the autograph board. So anybody, it was an even playing field. All you had to do was show up. And again, about 3 weeks after I got home, the principal sent me a message and said this young boy, he hadn't been coming to school, hadn't been trying, hadn't been doing anything. And after I was there, he said, I want to be like Garold. And he started showing up every day. And the teachers bought him some shoes and bought him a skateboard. And that's why I do it, for the one kid like that, the one person who hears the story and decides, I can make anything in my life. I can turn it around, or I can. And that's why I do what I do, man.
For the underdogs, I root for the underdog because I am one.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for taking the time to do this. It sure felt good. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and I'm sure we'll be talking real soon, Higgy. Thanks again for everybody tuning in and listen to him and I basically have a phone conversation on video, pretty much. This is how we talk. That's
right. Thank you. Let's do it again sometime.
Definitely, brother, man.
Thank you, my brother. Much love. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please continue to share this, rewatch this. Been awesome. Thank you for the hope shot tonight. Now, if anybody's out there struggling, reach out. You're not alone. Okay, you're not. And I want you to know one thing right now: you're worthy of love. To give it, feel it, and receive it. Okay. I love y'all. Peace out.